We're going to read to you a chapter from a new book entitled The World's Amazing Book, Why I Can Trust the Bible, a parent and child read-along book. Chapter 1, Ideas.
What are all these books on your desk?
The books on my desk are part of the collection of books. Many people believe this set contains the greatest wisdom of man of all time.
Whoa, that's amazing. How many are there altogether? Have you read all of them? Who wrote them?
Whoa, one question at a time. In my collection, there are 60 volumes made up of more than 500 works written by more than 100 authors. They wrote on a wide variety of subjects, giving different and sometimes opposing opinions. These authors included the most brilliant mathematicians, scientists, politicians, economists, authors, and philosophers the world has ever known. These books make up what is called the great books of the Western world. They make up what is called the Western canon. Can you say Western canon?
Western canon.
Very good.
Canon? You mean like boom boom?
Well, the two words canon and canon are pronounced the same, but they're spelled differently, so that we will know which one a person is talking about. The canon that goes boom boom is spelled C-A-N-N-O-N. The word used to describe an exclusive book, a group of books, is called canon, and that's C-A-N-O-N.
You mean a few people got together and made a list of the most important books ever written by the world's greatest thinkers, and this is what you mean by the Western canon?
That's right. Literally, the word canon means a standard for measurement, or a measuring stick. In the 1950s, a group of scholars selected these books and set them apart to be studied, celebrated, and revered as the standard of measurement of all ideas. In a speech at the time when the great books were presented to the public, it was said, "This is more than a set of books and more than a liberal education. Great books of the Western world is an act of piety. Here are the sources of our being. Here is our heritage. This is the West. This is its meaning for mankind." All ideas of other authors, past, present, or future, would then be compared to the ideas of these authors. This would become the way to determine if an idea was considered correct or incorrect.
What about the book in your hand? Is it a part of the great books of the Western world?
That is a good question. It is like other books in some ways, but different in other ways. It really stands alone from the rest. This book is made up of 66 smaller books, written by more than 35 different authors from 3 continents, Asia, Africa, and Europe, in 3 different language groups, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Common Greek, over a period of 1,500 years. In general, these authors, unlike those in the great books canon, were just common, ordinary people. There was a farmer, shepherds, a tax collector, fishermen, a doctor, military leaders, and even kings. Although their backgrounds and occupations were very different from one another, the book reads as if it were just one book.
What do you mean by that?
There's something very interesting and unusual about this book. The individual 66 books, from the first one to the last one, are interconnected. Can you say that word?
Interconnected.
Very good. What I mean is that an idea written within one of the 66 smaller books refers to a related thought elsewhere in a different one of the books. For example, several ideas in the first book are found in the very last book, even though they were written more than 1,000 years apart. What's the first book of the Bible?
Genesis.
What's the last book of the Bible?
Revelation.
They were written more than 1,000 years apart, and yet between them there are interconnected thoughts and ideas. This doesn't just happen 1 or 2 times. There are more than 16,000 ideas which match up in different books. These connections form a network structure of relations which exist among the different parts of the 66 books. Two people saw these interconnections and made a picture that honors and reveals the unity among the complexity and diversity of these connections throughout the 66 books, from the first to the last one. Let me sketch for you a simple version of the arc diagram they created. Can you see the arc diagram? Okay, so there's our first book, and there's our last book. Do you see the dotted lines? This shows all the interconnections between the books. While it appears just to be an ordinary book, written by ordinary people, the complex diversity with harmony makes this an extraordinary book.
It seems to me as if there would only be one single author behind a book like that. I think that this is quite an amazing book. What's the name of this book?
You tell me, what's the name of this book?
The Bible.
Very good.